No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1. That first show of the morning. Sounds pretty rough, huh? Yeah, it was a long weekend because we had our games.
And you just went through puberty 30 seconds
Did my
ago.
voice crack?
It did.
I'll listen back when we do the show open for the podcast broadcast. Yes. Let me warm up. Happy Monday, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning into the show on this beautiful Monday, April 17th. Good morning, Weirdo.
Good morning.
And good morning, Tucson. Yes, we had our season-ending games for your Tucson Roadrunners this weekend, which was fantastic. Sold it out on Saturday night, which I think is the first time that's ever happened. Yeah, with the run of the TCC and the Tucson Roadrunners, it's the highest grossing game they had since the inaugural game that they had. So the excitement is starting to catch on and grow, and it was fantastic. And shout out to see, I'm still raspy. I did definitely do some damage this weekend for a couple reasons. One was the game and me, stretching out my make some noises. And then two was the post-game festivities on Saturday night because end of season. So we got together, the whole Roadrunners rally crew, and we hit up 4th Avenue and went hard. And at the end of the night, I felt like Joe Exotic from Tiger King in that one meme where I'm like, I ain't never going to financially recover from this. This is my example, right? Before, at one point, we went to O'Malley's, right? And I'm feeling generous as I usually am when I'm buzzed and have a good, night and good season. I got my boys with me, my Roadrunners crew, Zach and Grant, and I actually don't know the third one's name. I keep forgetting his name, but we're tight. And so I'm like, let's do a shot of tequila. You know me, I love me some tequila, and it was a special occasion. So I saw a bottle of 1927, Don Julio 1927, very good tequila. If you haven't had it, it's premium. And usually when you go to the store or like a Bevmo or something, you get that bottle. It's going to be around $100, right? Okay. You want to get it. So it's expensive tequila. And I'm like, I'll take 4 shots of that Don Julio, please. Right. So we get the 4 shots and then I get the tab, and my tab came out to $130.
Oh my gosh.
For 4 shots.
Holy crap.
Yes, holy crap is right. And in real time, I defecated myself and my heart sank, and I'm just like, son of a bitch. I like these kids, but I don't like them that much, And then Grant's like, oh, I don't like tequila. And I'm like, I will kill you, bitch. You're going to drink it and you're going to love it.
You're going to get it now.
Yeah. So, so with tip, $140 for 4 shots. Oof. 4 effing shots. I was blown away. And that was my second tab. That wasn't even the tab I was accumulating over at the hut when I was being jolly generous, because I'm the elder statesman of my crew. And to where, I'm buying Mexican candy shots and showing these kids how to throw down like a dumbass.
So all the money that you made the entire Roadrunners season gone one night.
Well, at least the entire weekend it was gone. Because it added up on both. I definitely worked for free, but you know what? It was such a pleasant weekend. Beyond that, I would have worked for free. Met a lot of listeners. So shout out Doughboy and his primo Danny, Wade, Fee, just to name a few. Posted some pictures. That was really cool. Seeing the whole aspect. And here's the trip of the entire experience from this weekend. So when I did the post-game partying, right, going down to 4th, I went straight from the game, and I was wearing my Roadrunners jersey that has beef on the back, which I hate wearing in public when I'm not at the game, right? I don't go to the grocery store with it. I don't want, because I get the same reaction from people who don't know me, and they're just like, beef, yeah, beef. And then they're like, hey, what's up, man? You listening? What? No, the back of your jersey says beef. Yeah, that's my name. Oh, man, that's so awesome. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And gone. And I did with that interaction over and over again when I'm in public. So first I go to O'Malley's and I'm, since I don't have to do any of the hard work at the end of the game, I'm there before everybody else.
Yeah.
And so I walk around. Now, first and foremost, it's a meat market of all people in their 20s, early 20s, like babies. And so I'm an old man wearing a customized beef jersey. And all these frat boys, I swear to God, I had 3 different people come up to, oh man, beef. Like, oh, son of a bitch. Okay, yeah, nice to meet you. So I'm feeling like an ass already, right? So I'm like, I text my friends. I'm like, look, you can find me at the hut. I'm getting out of this.
Yeah.
So I go over to the hut, finally meet up with some people. At the hut, they don't accost me like they do at O'Malley's. Different crowd, even though they're so close. And then we come back. Well, it turns out the opposing team that played the Roadrunners, the San Jose team, was all at O'Malley's.
Oh.
The entire team.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. And so when I walk in, immediately they're like, hey, it's beef. And they fanboyed on me. The opposing team fanboyed on me. And I didn't even consider this. And this was the most mind-blowing fact of the whole thing. And these guys play us about 10 times a year here.
Yeah.
Right. So they're one of our rivals. They're in our division. They play a lot. And I just assume when they're playing the game, they're just focusing on the game and the timeouts and stuff. But they know very well much. They very well know, I can't even speak, that know who I am.
Yeah.
And so I'm taking pictures with the opposing team. Hold on my jersey. They're buying drinks and stuff. I'm like chatting them up and they love me. They're a fan. And then I see some of the Roadrunners there, right? And so I go up to one of the Roadrunners, Boko, and I'm like, hey, man, could I be your wingman? And just joking around. And then he just acts like he doesn't even know me. I'm like, bitch, come on, man, I'm on your team. They're about to recruit me. I'm about to ask for a trade. You better show some love. And of course I didn't say bitch out loud because he would have stomped my face in. But the fact of the matter is, it was crazy to me that, and I always say to anyone who's like, because I've been told before, oh, you're like a celebrity, right? Which is nonsense. It's in perspective. You're only a celebrity to people who know you.
Right.
And so, obviously, and in that situation, I'm a celebrity to the opposing team.
Yeah.
That whooped our ass on the last 2 games of the season, mind you.
They're like, we're here to play, but boy, look at this production value of this place.
Yeah. They're They're like, yeah, I hate this team, but I love that beef guy. He gets me all amped up to kick their ass at their house. Like, oh, maybe I'm doing too good. But yeah, it was a trip, man. Definitely a good weekend, and that's why my voice cracked to open up the show. Long story long. All right. But we have a great week lined up for you. It's 420 week, so we're stoked about that. A listener bait today is that of those elusive wristbands for the Pima County Fair. I know everybody wants those, so keep listening for your opportunity to win. We're going to talk Suns. We're going to talk fun. We're going to talk a bunch of stuff. So stick around. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA, and this is Alice in Chains. You know the name of the show. Let's go. Here we go, guys. Hold on 1 second. We're about to get live on the air, play a little game. It's going to be super fun. Welcome to the podcast broadcast. Rock 102.1 KFMA. The podcast broadcast is live. We got a full studio this morning, kicking things off with, what I like to do, weirdo.
Yes.
I like to play games.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Of course, we got Powers in the building, and we got Mari in the building, and we got 2 traffic reporters vying out or trying to battle it out to try to be considered the best, the greatest traffic reporter of all time. All right. I'm Valdez. Right. And Jen. Yeah, they're going heads up against each other. And the name of the game is Crossroads. Okay. It's going to be a very simple concept here. What I'm going to do is have a weirdo give you 2 cross streets here in Tucson. All right. You're going to have to guess which gas station is on those crossroads. Is it going to be Circle K? Is it going to be Quick Trip, or is it going to be Chevron? All right. Now, there is one crossroad that we're going to give you that actually has both on it. Okay.
2 of them, yep.
Yeah. So if you could recognize the crossroad as a bonus, all right, and say it has both, then you're going to get double points. But if you guess incorrectly, then you're going to get points taken away. And that's how it's going to work. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game of Crossroads is going to be dubbed the greatest traffic reporter of Arizona Lotus history, of the entire history.
Loser gets chopped, right?
Yeah.
Look at see, Valdez is trying to protect his hours. That's all he's trying to do. All right, let's get right into it. We're gonna start off with Jen.
All right. Pima and Columbus
Pima in Columbus is at Quick Trip, Circle K,
or Chevron?
Chevron.
That is a Circle K.
That is correct.
Circle K, 1 point for Jen. All right, I'm Valdez.
All right. Stone and River.
Oh, that's a quick trip.
That's a quick trip.
All right, yeah,
Correct.
say it into the mic there. And he said it so
Sorry, that's a
confidently.
quick trip.
You knew that was a
Hey,
Quick Trip pretty.
You got to remember, I've done reports at almost every quick trip.
Oh, you have? You done
Oh, really?
reports
Law
with me.
enforcement, baby.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Ah.
All right, that sounds good. So Valdez might have the advantage because Quick Trip did have people or police hang out there all the time, as opposed to Circle K's where police actively avoid being around them
They're
all the time.
never around there.
Never.
They're terrified. Yes, and rightfully so.
I don't
All
know if
right,
it's the smell or the look, but something.
it's a little bit of everything. Shout out to all my Circle K employees who are listening to the show, though, by the way.
Yeah.
I do enjoy them.
Hi, Mom.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Hi, Weirdo's mom.
All right, all right, back at Weirdo, back to Jen. What are we doing?
All right, this is a bonus question one. The intersection is Tucson and Grant, and it has 2 of the 3 options.
Tucson and Grant.
Tucson and Grant.
Jen, you might want to step away from the camera a little bit. It's an unflattering angle there. Yeah,
Sorry.
right there.
Sorry, is that better?
Yeah, you're good.
Tucson and Grant. It is a Circle K and a Chevron.
Correct.
Oh, I'm
Nice.
giving 2 points
2
for Jen
points.
there. Yeah, that was brilliant. Wow.
Way to go, Jen.
And you're going based off of memory and stuff.
Yes.
Now, both of you guys grew up in Tucson, huh?
No, I am from Denver.
Okay, so
Oh.
how long you been living in Tucson?
A year and a half.
Wow. She's
Wow.
saying it only takes a year and a half to be better than you, Valdez. That's insane. All right.
All right. Bonus
Uh-oh.
round to Valdez. Alvernon in 20 seconds.
Alvernon and 22nd.
It has 2.
Two
Which
out of
two-
the 3.
two
Which
out of the
one are they
3?
going to be?
Let's go. It's a Circle K and a QT.
It is.
Sir, wow. Look at
Good
that.
job.
If anything, the takeaway so far is that our traffic reporters, they know the streets.
Yeah.
All right. So that's pretty impressive. All right. We're all tied up going into this next round. And now it's up to Jen.
Yeah.
What are the crossroads here for
All
Jen?
right. Howden and Golf Links.
Oh,
East side.
That is a.
You got a 33% chance.
I know too because look, there's a feed store right over by there.
Okay.
It's a Quick Trip. Quick Trip.
It is indeed a quick
Oh,
trip.
she's going off memory. They're not
you
even
knew
guessing. They're giving definitive answers. This is impressive. Yeah. All right. You got Powers excited in the background. Back to Valdez.
oh, like
It's
I
all
knew
tied
that
up.
one. They have the cleanest latrines.
Yeah.
All right, Valdez. Stone and Drockman.
A la verga. Stone and Dracula. That sounds super south.
It is not. It is Midtown.
Oh, never mind. I'm way off then. Oh man, that's probably wrong. Chevron.
It is a Chevron.
Oh, he even got a lucky guess.
I admit I didn't know that one. So.
All right, we still have a few more to go. We're keeping the game moving on the podcast broadcast and wrap things up on the flip side of Beck's loser. You can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan, or keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. All right, let's keep it
All
going
right,
here.
it's all
All
tied
right.
up.
All tied up. How many more do we have left here?
Oh, I got many options.
Good,
so
good.
whenever you want to.
All right, yeah.
I have an interesting bonus one.
Jump into
Oh.
the mic here. Jump into the mic. What, you say you have an interesting bonus one? What do you mean?
Well, we can just settle it. Well, we could see if it's tied up, but I have a bonus one that I want them to finish.
Okay.
So we could do
All
it
right.
later.
Okay. So if we get to the bonus, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Back to the crossroads, and we're Jen. We're all tied up here. All right.
All right.
Mhm.
So, in fact, actually, Valdez, I'm going to want you on your turn to use Jen's mic because Jen's mic is blocking your face. All we see is Pinchy Way. All right.
That's all you need to see.
That's true. Yeah.
That's all you need to see.
He's the faceless man mystery. Yes, Mari's here as well. So, Creepy Rick says hi, Mari. Yeah.
Mhm.
See, yeah, wave in the background. We're going to do a Would You Rather with Mari as well and have some fun. But okay, back to the game. Let's go.
All right. Tanque Verde and Bear Canyon.
Ooh, Tanque Verde and Bear Canyon, Jen.
Ooh.
She's got her eyes closed.
I know, this is her
Concentration is
strategy.
on.
Yeah, it's interesting. She's like looking at it, visualizing the cross streets.
That's a quick trip.
That is a Circle K.
Oh! You know what that means? That means if
Valdez.
Valdez gets this next one right,
Mm-hmm.
he is the winner. Switch positions so we get Valdez on the camera here.
Yeah.
The pressure is on. Now, Valdez, you get this right, then you won the game, and you could get the crown as the greatest traffic reporter that Arizona Lotus has. Now, of course, if you get it wrong, we'll continue. All right, so here we go.
I'll throw it on purpose just so I can continue.
Well, no, we got other stuff to do, so don't take up my entire day playing this game. Here we go.
All right. Ruth Roth and LaToya.
Ruth Roth and LaToya.
I want to say it's a QT.
It is a Circle K.
Oh.
Shout out to my mama.
There you go.
All right.
So it is
Well,
still tied up.
all right. Yeah, back to Jen.
I
Give me
was
another
thinking
one.
the Cordero one.
Oh, yeah. And saying Cotero extra cool doesn't give you any extra points, okay? Just saying that, all
All
right?
he gives
Cordero.
crap is I say La Cañada.
Yeah.
That's La Canada, man.
You know, La Cañada is 3 letters away from Blame Canada. If I ever went to jail for vandalism,
That's
it would
true.
be to do that.
Yes.
That would be nice, yes.
All right.
That's luck Canada, man. I love it. All
There's a
right.
lot in front of it. It's Spanish.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Back to Jen. Here are your crossroads. Got to get this point here.
All right. Pantano and Golf Links.
Pantano and Golf Links. Nice area of town. Quick Trip, Circle K, or Chevron.
Oh, okay.
I mean, honestly,
That's a Chevron.
is it a Chevron?
Jesus, it is a Chevron.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
Dang.
Very impressive. Like she's almost, yeah, you got a talent and ability there, Jen.
East of that is that Circle K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
All right.
Valdez,
So that's 5 for Jen, 4
All
for
right.
Valdez.
All right,
Valdez, you got to
Valdez.
get this.
All right.
You
Go
gotta,
for it.
You got to get this to stay in the game.
Do it.
Grant and Oracle.
Grant and Oracle.
Oh, that's a scummy. That's that scummy Circle K with the used to be Chevron across the street.
All right. He says scummy Circle K on Grant and Oracle.
Yes, Grant and Oracle has replaced the old Grant and Alberton freaking Circle K
Yes, absolutely.
trashiness. So
Absolutely.
yes, that is a Circle
Rock
K.
102.1 KFMA. We're back with Battle of the Traffic Reporters, and we're all tied up
It is
5
tied.
apiece. All right. So now we're going into sudden death round. And the way that we're going to do this is speed it up. So Weirdo's going to give the crossroads. You're going to buzz in with your catchphrase name. I'm Valdez or I'm Jen. Buzz in and then answer. If you get it correctly, you get a point. If you get it incorrectly, your opponent gets a point. Let's go. Here we go.
All right, Congress and I-10.
Well, I'm Valdez. Circle
Okay.
K.
Circle K, yes.
That is correct. All right. Do it again.
All right, Speedway and Houghton.
Jen.
Yes.
It's a Chevron.
No, it's a Circle K.
Oh! And with that, we have a winner in Valdez. What?
It only took you living here for 30 years.
That's because I didn't have time to visualize and connect.
Hey, you know
I mean?
what? You did put up an excellent fight,
Yes, you
Jen,
did.
so you have nothing to be ashamed of. You're still a pretty good traffic reporter, but unfortunately, we have a goat among us, and that is I'm Valdez. I'm Valdez. Go ahead and sign off for me.
To be the man, you got to beat the man. I'm Valdez.
All right, we're keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. Going to hit that reset and get Mari to join us to another Would You Rather. Going to give you 3 reasons why women cheat. We got your TMI top 5 and so much more. Join us, youtube.com/bevegan, or keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1. Clear. Excellent job, guys. Excellent
Nice.
job.
Can I ask a bonus question?
Yes, ask your bonus question.
All right. So at the corner of Speedway, there's a Bookman's and there's a Trader Joe's. Speedway and Will what?
Wilmot.
Will what?
Wilmot.
What is it, Valdez? Speedway and Will what?
Wait, there's no N, so it's Wilmot.
It's Wilmot.
Yeah, everybody says Wilmon.
Boom. There
Kind
you
of a
go.
trick question, though. Kind of a
Valdez.
trick question. Yeah.
Valdez. Well done.
Valdez.
Yeah. Still representing.
That
All right, we're
Wait,
gonna
do you
hit that
pronounce
reset.
it Ina or Ina?
Oh, I've always said Ina.
It is supposed to be Ina. It's named after
Yes.
a gold medalist swimmer.
Really?
Swimmer or
You didn't know that?
diver.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
her real name is Ina, but it's been changed to Ina.
KOLD went viral with that story a couple
Mm.
years ago, but still, people say
The other
Ina.
ones I called McGee, Maggie, and also Ruth Ruff.
Yeah, it's Ruth Ruff.
Ruth Ruff.
Yeah.
That was my hood.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's how you remember it.
Those are the
Ruth
other
likes it
ones
rough.
That
Roof
people
rough.
have actually come in and been like, Jen.
Right.
All right, let's get. You're gonna get all set up, and while we're getting resituated,
All right,
this morning's
later.
F My Life went like this.
Did you get caught self-loving by your mom?
Awkward.
It is awkward.
Did you do something that got you fired from your job?
I just get stupider.
It's fun being stupid.
Don't hide this in vain. Let us laugh at your pain. Call 600-KFMA right away.
I promise we won't embarrass you.
Because Beef Vegan presents F My Life. F My Life. F My Life.
Yes, it's time for another edition of Your F My Life. These are unfortunate situations. Email to me at beefvegan@kfma.com. Subject line FML. But of course, if you have an F My Life you care to share on the air, give us a call, 600-KFMA, that's 605-362, and Weirdo and I will weigh in on your F My Life situation. Are you ready, Weirdo?
I am.
All right, first email sent to me by Alyssa. She said, I actually got to meet actor George Takei. Yeah,
cool.
that's nice. He was sweet and charming, and I was just thrilled. But when we parted, I wanted to say either I'll always remember this or I'll never forget this. It came out as I'll never remember this. F My Life. What do you say?
Yeah, that's a little embarrassing walking away thinking you got a head injury.
Yeah, this is kind of like a common theme in F My Life where people will be indecisive and have two different things they want to say and then inadvertently blend it together in the worst possible way.
Yeah.
So if there's a lesson to be learned, just pick a lane.
Yeah.
Just go with it.
Or just say thank you.
Yeah, that's true. All right, next F My Life email, but I agree, your life is F. Next F My Life email sent to me by Jason. He said, yesterday my ex texted me out of the blue saying she found my fiance's Tinder profile. I told her there was no way it was true. It actually was.
Oh, no.
Yeah, heartbreaking there.
But wait, is it maybe an old Tinder profile?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Fiance.
Yeah,
unless
delete it.
Jason, if you propose to this girl within a month of dating her, then 100% big baby, you did it to yourself. But I'm gonna assume if she's your actual fiance, you've been dating for a while, you did things kind of like the more traditional way. So yeah, I'm gonna hit the trombone on that one. Hey, silver lining, you don't have to pay for a wedding anymore. Yeah, nice. Or silver lining, she's on Tinder, but only for females.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
Going down the weirdo path.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, but no, none of those are true. F your life. She's banging other dudes. All right, next F My Life email sent to me by Trevor. Trevor said, today I went to a conference for work. When I got there, I sat beside a woman about my age. She immediately got up and moved to the opposite side of the room. We were the only two there. Oh, well, you must have looked like a creep, Trevor.
Or smelled.
What do you say there, weirdo?
That's not a great feeling to go into a conference, so F My Life.
Yeah, but I would definitely do a smell check because I think you bring up a good point. Maybe you did smell, dude. All right, next, so F My Life for sure. Next F My Life email sent to me by Lupe. Lupe, and I have to be very delicate in the way that I say this. She said, I am violently allergic to my boyfriend's new hand cream. And now I know this because after last night's quickie on the sofa, I now have a rash all over my skin and weeping sores. And then I can't say that. And around I can't say that.
Oh, in the nether regions.
Yeah, fill in the blanks. All right, F My Life for Lupe.
Yes.
Brutal.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, and plus, you have a boyfriend who uses hand cream? What is that? I don't think you have a boyfriend. I think you have a girlfriend there, Lupe. Oh, yeah, I said it. Emasculated him over his hand cream. What is that? You talking about lotion?
Yeah. Maybe he has eczema?
Oh, I would hope. This is the one time I hope a stranger has eczema. All right, but I'm doubling down on that.
Yeah, you're gonna be out of the game for a while, Lupe. F My Life.
Yeah. All right. Final F My Life of the day sent to me by Danny. He wrote, today I found out that the crappy shampoo I've been borrowing from my girlfriend is actually feminine wash. F my life, what do you say there?
Oh, I'm sure you smell like mountain flowers.
Yes.
So you're a big baby. Learn how to read, sir.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I would say during this time, though, it gives you a pass to completely act like a douche as well, since you're going to smell like one. All right, please welcome Mari back on the microphone. Good morning.
Hello.
Yeah. All right. We have some fun stuff that we're going to get into here. We'll do Would You Rathers. I sent you some stuff, and I want to do on the air a flip side to a conversation we were having. I think it was last Monday where we gave you a list of reasons why men cheat according to a prostitute.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? Yeah. So I actually have a different list according to a psychologist, the reason why females cheat. So for men to figure out men, you got to talk to a prostitute. For women, you got to talk to a psychologist.
Yeah,
that's the difference between the two. So we'll do that here in a little bit. But did you have a good weekend?
I did.
Nice. Yeah. You know, I recalled another story. There were several stories over the weekend that I wanted to recall just from Saturday night of me being on one, because I don't get to go out and party that much. But when I do, I always come back with stories. I always end up having a good time and get a little awkward sometimes. Yeah. So sometimes I don't know when to turn it off, you know, as far as my brand of humor. It makes him squirm sometimes. He secretly loves it. He fucking loves it secretly. But on camera right now, you know, he's just like, I go to business to protect. I deal with kids and your jokes are crazy. But the parents of the kids love them jokes. Okay.
I mean, to be fair, I have to text my partners when I know they got the kids in car. I'm like, do not listen to this segment.
Yeah, there are times. But again, we're a show that's aimed towards adult men. So we are playing the game that they want us to play. In fact, you know, if I was even a little too soft, they would yell at me, because I know I've seen this through Schmonty. Schmonty was too safe, according to the likes of management and the consultant. You know, and then once I came to spice it up a little bit, and you know, then guys paid attention a little bit more. Whatever, it is what it is. But again, sometimes you could take an inappropriate joke at an inappropriate time, go a little bit too far, and kind of ruin a conversation. And this is exactly what happened at O'Malley's, or Bro-Malley's, as Anthony was pointing out, with my buddy Grant, who I work with, and this very hot U of A co-ed. Gorgeous blonde girl, right? Now, apparently her and Grant have a thing going on, right? They've hooked up a few times, and they look similar. Right. And so she said, when he introduced me to her, you know, the first thing, she comes out strong saying, yeah, I know we look like siblings. And I was like, oh, you guys should get married. Right. Like a lot of people who are married actually look like they're related. You know, it's a common trait. And I was like, but I see the similarity. In fact, you guys look so alike. He probably comes on his own face when you guys have sex.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You just met these people?
Yeah. I went from 0 to 150, like boom, boom.
Beef, I'm so proud. That's so good.
Isn't that a good joke, though? So he immediately turns around because he starts laughing, right? And she's just like, and again, she's 21 years old. And I immediately was like, oh yeah, the old Finnish joke, huh? And I'm fucking old enough to be your dad, but I still think it was a good joke. And she's just like, and then she just slowly turns and walks away. And the conversation was over. And I was like, I guess it's time to buy a $30 shot. But
she was aghast. Her monocle fell out of her eye.
Yeah. But I mean, it's still a good joke, right? But again, sometimes I don't know when to turn it off. And we're in a bar. In all fairness, it's around midnight. So if you're going to tell a joke like that, that's the environment to tell that joke. To be offended at that joke, you're in the wrong place. This ain't church. This is O'Malley. Okay? So
I love when those conversations turn like that, because I just stand there and I'm just like, what are we gonna do? What's going on? Oh, sitting in the awkward. So good.
That's how much they look similar. So yeah, you can use that one. You can use that the next time you do the kitty hour.
Let me put that in my back pocket.
Oh my God, somebody said that me and my boyfriend look like siblings just based on the fact that we both wear glasses. I have black hair, he is blonde. Like, yeah, that one was weird. Like, looks like they're doing some Alabama shit here. And I'm like, what the? We don't look anything alike.
Yeah.
So weird.
I know. I mean, well, I don't think they do say that if you look similar to your partner, that's a good sign for marriage. And a lot of people do fall in love with people that share similar traits. And I think subconsciously the reason is because your definition of beauty is almost what you see in the mirror each and every day. I make the joke that I look in the mirror, and this is the difference between guys and girls. The girls will look in a mirror and they will find all these different things that they hate about themselves. They'll pick themselves apart. But guys, we have this blind optimism, delusion. We look in the mirror and go, oh, we fucking look good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right?
I'm like Homer Simpson in the mirror, where it's just like, oh, yeah, look at you.
Right.
It's like, what do you got?
But that's a common trait that men have, right? As opposed to women. The flip side is that they are so harsh on themselves. So, you know.
I wonder if age has a factor in that, because I feel like in the last year, I made the flip where I would only point out the things I hated or the flaws, where I feel like in this last year, I will only point out the, damn, my ass looks good. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if age has something to do with it as well, because I'm 36 now.
I think it's a mixture of, maturity, which age can bring, self-awareness, and you've been also doing therapy as well. So, you know.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
Holy shit. All that has been worth it because I became shallow.
Yeah,
Yes.
best investment yet. All right, we're getting back on the air in about 5 seconds. Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. Well, that was I Prevail, as I was talking all over that, breaking down here on the podcast broadcast, hanging out with Powers, Mari, and Weirdo. Or together, they're paris, super couple. Now, last Monday, I don't know if you guys recall, but with Mari and Weirdo, we were talking about a prostitute who went viral with her story, describing and explaining why men cheat according to her. It was very insightful stuff, actually, because, she would know, because a lot of times the men just wanted to vent and talk and be listened to and heard and, these kind of things. So it was odd to see. But I do have a flip side to that, because a psychologist revealed 3 reasons why women cheat. Now, I did find it interesting that a prostitute's an expert in men, and then a psychologist is an expert in women.
Well,
irony there.
You hear what they always say, that the man just wanted to talk, because that's what a prostitute is. They're just a psychologist for, a lonely guy.
Pretty much. Yeah. And without degrees and whatnot. Hopefully they do have degrees, but I mean, you're still paying for a service, right?
Right.
So here are the 3 main reasons why women cheat, according to this psychologist, Mark Travers, who's not only a psychologist who is an expert in his field, he's also had several women cheat on him. All right. So the first one, to fill an emotional void. Okay. So according to one study, men mainly cheat for sexual reasons, but a key reason women do is for their emotional needs. So I'm gonna go figure. Women may be looking to satisfy needs, including communication, empathy, respect, and support, which all can lead to emotional cheating when they find someone other than their partner to fill those needs. Do you consider emotional cheating worse than physical cheating?
No.
No? You think it's the same?
They're pretty similar to me in my brain, but I do feel like the physicality of insertion is a little bit more intense and hard to come back from.
Okay. Well, would you disagree with that? Because you're in a poly relationship, Weirdo.
Yeah.
So is an emotional cheat worse than a physical cheat for you in your scenario?
I mean, yeah. So even though we are poly, you still can cheat. You can still be dishonest, right? And that's not what we're about. But as you're sitting here saying, to fill an emotional void, each of my partners does that. I get different emotional needs from each of them. So basically, if I put the 3 of them together, they're my perfect partner. But yeah, emotionally, I think that's worse for me.
Right.
Yeah, because that one's difficult for me.
I'll ask a dude's perspective and Powers. Which one is worse for you and why?
As a famous nice guy, right?
Yeah.
I've been the emotional cheat for several girls growing up.
Right. Yeah, several women have had emotional affairs with them, but not crossed that physical line.
Yeah, I'm the in case of emergency break glass guy.
Yeah.
So I do feel that it can be worse, but I feel the emotional cheat is kind of the last step of this thing's going to fall apart anyway.
Yeah.
Where they're already out of it. They're just not afraid. They just don't want to jump the line. But that's the last step before jumping the line to physicality.
Yeah, I do agree. If I see emotional cheating in my relationship, I get just as mad or even more so. than the physical aspect of things, because it's just like, because there's a little bit of a lie behind it, because you try to play it safe, like, no, I didn't do anything physically, and that's the most frustrating part. Be like, no, you're still cheating emotionally. You still want to, and you're giving this guy this, that, and the other thing, while still being able to play the good guy or the safe, like, I didn't do anything wrong card, which is nonsense. But yeah, to fill an emotional void is the first reason why women cheat. Reason number 2, sexual inconsistency. Right? Yeah, they say sex is important to women as it is for men. Not married women, though, right? I mean, come on. So when women lose their sexual thrill they felt in the early days of the relationship, they may go looking for it somewhere else. And a recent study finds that practicing sexual mindfulness can help couples who feel like their spark is fading. All right. So study authors actually recommend to do these 3 things. Okay. Letting go of self-judgment, recognizing that your partner is attracted to more than just your body. Talking about insecurities and coming up with a plan altogether to get rid of these distractions. And finally, staying present in the pleasurable moments by tuning into your senses and focusing on things like how your partner's touch makes you feel and whatnot. So trying a blindfold and doing things like that can spice things up.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with every single one of those, especially the insecurities, and like talking about it, being like, hey, I do have these feelings about this. How can you help me co-regulate?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then that way there is that more feeling of acceptance too, which is great.
Now, Mari, you're married and you have 2 kids, right?
Yeah.
So, and 2 toddlers.
Yeah.
So are you finding yourself trying to find re-spark? Because I know that everyone naturally kind of goes through the lulls right after childbirth, and, with your plate being full, having 2 young kids. Yeah. So are you getting to the point where you're like, all right, we're going to spice it up with some candles and some blindfolds or anything like that?
It's still pretty spicy. It just has to be more intentional. So you have to really kind of schedule it in.
The schedule is the key, right?
Yeah.
You can't be as spontaneous
Yeah.
because you don't really get that time. But sometimes I guess if you're like, if they're both taking a nap, guess what? It's bang o'clock. For how long? For as long as these little... All right.
Yeah, I mean, like with us, like that's always been talked about, is the fact that we, in my family, we schedule that time, and people are like, oh my God, how can you do that? I'm like, sex psychologists have been suggesting this for 50 years for couples because it actually improves your sex life if you schedule it, because then you can focus. You've intentionally set that side of time and you're just with each other.
That's right.
So,
and then late to the party, Robert and Vanessa said typically emotional is a gateway to physical. Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I think physical is worse, because it's like you have the emotional part before that.
Right, which is essentially just foreplay. It is just basically foreplay. And that's why if you catch your partner emotionally cheating with somebody, it's going to physically turn. It's inevitable. All right. And the final reason why women cheat, according to this psychologist and different studies, is unequal division of labor. Labor. Yeah. So another recent study suggests that women may lose sexual desire for their partners due to an unequal division of household labor. So chores around the house. If you're being lazy and you're not pulling your weight. And I know that this has been a conflict in my own personal relationship to a point where, it's caused much grief and almost explosions or implosions of a relationship. So having that balance and pulling your weight around the house so they don't feel like they're pulling most of the weight, even though you're bringing home the money and you buy most of the food. And who's just saying,
most households, both of them work, both the wife and the husband work, girlfriend, boyfriend work, but still the labor ends up falling 85% of the time or more on the female.
Especially if that guy owns a PS5.
Well, I'm just saying, the
or
Xbox
a
One.
Kia Soul.
Okay, now I'm feeling personally attacked. That's crazy. Keeping the conversation moving. YouTube.com/beefvegan. Clear, that was good. All right, so.
No, my family, or me and my partners, were playing something called the Fair Play deck game.
Oh, yes, this is interesting. So
yeah, it was created by a woman who is a lawyer. Her husband is also a lawyer. They are busy and they have kids. So she came up with it. And I had a hard time understanding this game at first because I've always independently worked. So I didn't understand how project management worked.
Yeah.
And like owning your task and not splitting it and things like that. So they call it a game, but really it's just these cards where you can visually see like, oh, I do have the laundry card. I do have, what I mean? It's really cool, but it also includes unicorn cards, which means You're taking time for yourself.
Ooh.
There's cards specifically to the relationship. Like, I have the card this week. It is my responsibility to make sure that we are getting connection this week.
Ooh.
It's a really, and it has a book that comes with it. And that's what we've been untangling this last week. Now, granted, we're so busy that we're doing it in sections. There's different suits, everything else. Like, we just did the daily grinds card. And like, literally it was a little eye-opening to be like, okay, what does fall in this category? How does this work? And like, just even going through that suit for the daily grinds, it has helped so much, because we have so many things that fall through the cracks. Yes, we have 4 adults, but there will be 2, if we have 2 people trying to do a job, it ends up not getting done because we think the other one's going to do it, or we'll eventually get to it. Or so that is something that like I'm now highly suggesting.
Well, that's a real thing. When I worked at the diner, right? It's like you're in charge of the whole restaurant. And then 10 o'clock shows up and you get the extra help. All of a sudden we run out of ice.
Right.
Each one of you thinks the other one should do it.
Correct.
And sometimes that gets in the way, and that's the communication part of it.
Right.
Can we go back to another thing we were talking about?
What's that?
I think the advice about communication when it's getting dead or blah, 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 blah. Sexting is honestly, I think, really good advice.
Yeah.
The best thing that I ever got, I think, from some of this is you being like, you got to work on that sexting game.
Yep.
What are you talking about? And then finding out how much all you gals actually do sext and are filthy.
Yeah.
Oh,
filthy girls.
Oh, we are dirty.
Yeah. I couldn't
I'm
believe
looking
it.
at you, Mari.
Yeah, no, I mean, sexting really does help like spice it up, because I don't remember which website it is, but there's ones that it specifically gifts that are sex.
Yeah.
That one's fun.
I was using sex.com, and that's
that
the
what it
one
is?
I gave him. I was like, you
Yeah.
need to. And the sexting game for a while when I was single, through the roof. Because basically I would describe something as I'm texting, and I'd go to sex.com and I would kind of put in that scenario, and then I would come up with a GIF for it. Yeah, copy and paste. So then there was a visual aspect to it.
Wait.
And honestly, if my threads didn't delete after a year, I'd be able to show you some stuff where I was creating Niagara Falls. I was just killing the game.
Sex.com?
Sex.com.
Yes.
I was going to the old site, but you could also go to Google for sex gifts, but sex.com, they had tons of them.
Whoa.
And then, it's like, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then send a little GIF where it's a little 360. So it's not full blown porn. You're not sending a clip on Pornhub.
Right.
Right. But
but just something like to create the fantasy, the idea of like what to look forward to, because I've been with my husband for 8 years.
Yeah.
Right. And granted, we have I have 2 other partners, which keeps that exciting. So how do I keep things exciting with him? And that's what I do.
all right, do me a favor, pause on that.
Okay.
Get a would you rather real quick. We're going to do a live would you rather speed break here going into Everlast.
Anyone?
Yeah, anyone. Save the 421 because I want to record that, and we'll use that for the 420 show. I'm also going to play you guys. Oh, shoot, Powers.
Oh,
it's coming down. That's all right. We'll mess with it later.
You sounded so sad.
I know. Well, the green screen is starting to come down, but I haven't been able to use it yet. So,
Man, it's
right.
already 9:40.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
I'm not gonna get to my segment.
No. What segment's that? All right, Mari, you got a would you rather for us real quick?
I do.
All right, what is it?
Would you rather have the ability to read minds or the ability to see the future?
Ooh. Well, let's start off with Powers on this one. Read minds or see the future?
Ooh, you know what? I'm going to go with see the future.
Okay.
Because read
and why?
minds can get scary.
Okay. Yeah. Weirdo?
I'm gonna say read minds.
Really? Why?
Because I'm nosy.
Yeah.
I just want to know what people are thinking, because brains fascinate me and how they work and how they operate. So that's where I'm at with that.
I'm telling you, you would lose faith in humanity immediately, and it would terrify you. That's why I'm leaning with Powers on this one. And because first off, do you want every bad thought that someone may have about you just crossing them? You're talking like first impressions. People are heartless, right? So
they do it on the internet and the comment threads to me already.
right.
So.
and just imagine if it's like comments being read consistently, no matter where you go all the time. It's terrible. If you could predict the future, not only would you know where not to be when S hits the fan, but then you could win the Powerball as much as you'd like, and then you'd already know what people are thinking. They're thinking you're a dick because you're rich. So I do like that. We're keeping the conversation moving. The podcast broadcast. Join us there, youtube.com/bevegan, or stick around because we'll be back after Everlast. Here's what it's like on Rock 121 KFMA. You know the name of the show. Let's go. Clear. All right. Yeah. And I'm dumping these other songs too. So turn it into a talk show right now. Because we can. Because we can.
No, I have the segment that we wanted to make Powers uncomfortable with.
Oh yeah, which one's that? Well, let's do a would you rather for the 420 first.
Okay.
So bust the 420 and we'll record this because I'm going to use this for a speed break and go.
Okay. Would you rather have marijuana paranoia at every job interview for the rest of your life or perpetual never-ending cottonmouth?
Oh, I would go for the job interview paranoia, right? You guys?
I think I'd go with cottonmouth.
Really?
That paranoia used to get me so bad.
Oh, it's horrible.
I think ninjas are breaking in the house late at night, and I'm just terrified.
Yeah, I would have to go with Cottonmouth too, because like I already have like the anxiety paranoia without being high, and that is awful.
I guess I'm the only one who loves to have a moist mouth.
Moist.
420 speed break. Let's see. Speaking of which, as we get ready for 420, I did make some sweepers real quick. I'll play you guys just for 420. So I thought I'd share these with you to get a little sneak peek with the here on the air. First one's called the 420 bong hit. All right.
So what kind of weed do you want?
There is no easy way to ask this. Rock 102.1. But are you all high? Beef Vegan presents.
Hey.
Good. I like it.
Thank you. This one's called 420 Munchies.
Dude, are you like high or something? I'm 420% sure. Let us celebrate that.
Beef Vegan presents. What's Munchies? KFMA.
Now, of course,
Who whispered that?
That's our voiceover guy.
Okay.
Yeah. So when initially, and it's great too, because there's audio of him saying stuff that I haven't even used yet. So I got like an hour worth of this guy just going, Rock 102.1, Rock 102.1, Rock 102.1, you know, like all that shit, right? That's his job. And so then I got to go through it and try to find the right thing. So I finally got to use the whisper. And I know that they'll yell at me for using this sweeper because it doesn't say Rock 102.1. It says KFMA. But fuck it. I like it. And I didn't like the way that Rock 102.1 sounded in that scenario. So here is another 420 bong, but not hit.
I'm about to show y'all who the real Puff Daddy is.
Beef Vegan presents.
The 420 party is back on.
Oh boy, the SS lit.
I get the
On Rock 102.1 KFMA.
All right, so
That says it.
That's good.
yeah, that one does.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I said, yeah, they'll love 3 out of the 4 that I whipped together. I did this on Saturday when I got in a fight with my girlfriend. I was like, fine, I'm fucking going into work. We're good now, though. We're good now. All right. Sorry to disappoint you.
You're standing under the mistletoe.
I'm pretty sure that's sexual assault.
Beef Vegan presents.
Hey, happy holidays.
On Rock 102.1 KFMA.
Yeah, so the happy holidays is like weed. All right, so there you go. How are you going to make Powers awkward again this morning or uncomfortable?
So I have curated a list of rock and metal bands that got into the sex toy game.
Oh,
yeah.
I remember when we talked about who had that glow. Who is it? Oh, Guar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Guar had a sex
Yeah, so
toy,
Guar,
remember?
yeah, so Guar has the what is it called? I have it here. Yeah, it is the Cthulhu one.
Is it? Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I remember we saw some weird snail.
The cuttlefish of
Oh.
Cthulhu.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's pretty gross. but
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean that one. I mean I did share the screen with you. You can see that one.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. I see that.
terrifying.
Right.
Terrifying.
I do remember that.
Remember
Yeah,
that?
with the brain for the balls, which makes
Mhm.
sense.
Right. So but-
Everything about this makes sense.
right, but other bands did get into the sex toy game. Now, quickly the
We're getting
company.
on the air right now.
Okay.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. All right. As we're breaking it down, Weirdo has a list of bands that got into the sex toy game.
Mhm.
And we started off with Guar's Snail Dill, which is impressive. And you can see all these courtesy of Loudwire on the podcast broadcast stream, youtube.com/beefvegan. All right. So what are some other ones here?
Right. I mean, so the company is called Love Honey. They also did a collaboration with 3 bands just for, generic vibrators, but it's got Motorhead, Motley Crue, and appropriately the Vibrators.
Okay.
Old
Okay.
80s punk band.
Yeah.
With their
Duh.
imagery all over it.
I would be disappointed if the vibrators didn't have something that, they could sell at the merch stand that
Exactly.
involved that. It's in their
Right.
name, man.
Right. And the Vibrators bonus, it comes in a little coffin shape with like a Union Jack for England, which is kind
Okay.
of cool.
Motorhead, good name for a vibrator.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
so,
exhausting.
and And with Motley Crue, it's like it's the world's most notorious rock band. Like, of course, they've got to have a sex toy, right?
I'm surprised they just don't have molds.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, just of everybody.
So,
Yeah,
but
Tommy Lee's.
there is
Vince,
a band.
you know, it's gonna be short and fat. Because so is Vince. Yeah, take that, Razor. All right, keep.
Oh my God.
Well, Rammstein went ahead and released a case of how do we appropriately say members of the band.
Oh wow.
Molded after the member of the band.
Oh, so there you go. Rammstein did it. There you go.
Rammstein did it.
Rammstein did it, and that's good. That's very smart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta get in with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now Machine Gun Kelly also did the Devil Vibrators.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but then he came out with version 2.0. So what's great is you're not going to be just disappointed with his music, but also his line of vibrators.
Yeah. Is any of his a mold?
No.
All right, because I just want to know what Megan Fox is dealing with. I'll say this. Let me get this off screen so I don't get booted, because those are a little too accurate. They're all pink. We did have a great story from our friend Luna Ora about Machine Gun Kelly in real life and how he's like an uber douche poser. Yeah. And it was fantastic. And she did it off the record. It was after our conversation with her. And I'm not putting her on blast, but she went over to his house one day and Mod Sun was there and the usual suspects, all posers in the pop punk world. And they got stoned, and then Machine Gun Kelly just started spray painting anarchy signs
like a 12-year-old
backyard, a Beverly Hills mansion he's renting. And it's just like, you can't be a bigger douche than that. Yeah. Serious. So we're keeping the conversation moving. We have more pictures we're going to show on the podcast broadcast stream and a couple more bands that got in the sex toy game. Your TMI top 5 and your beef tip all coming up as well. Keep it right here. Clear. All right. So yeah, and I heard that and I was just like, of course. I mean, I'm all about, like, I will give credit where credit is due to a certain extent on Machine Gun Kelly, but also I know when someone's jumping on a trend, and I'm glad that trend's coming to an end.
I thought that did him and Megan Fox break up or no?
Yeah, they got back together.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah. He sent him a box of those sex toys.
Yeah, they
sent her a box of those sex toys. And she is, and a lot of times I'm just hating. Majority of the reason why I'm hating on Machine Gun Kelly is because he's with Megan Fox. It's more of a jealousy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm being a jelly belly.
Mari, what did you just get excited about?
That gold device is fancy.
So that's for the butt.
That is
Mari.
That is Ghost. Back in the early days of Ghost, when the theatrical heavy Swedish band was still going by Ghost BC, they released a special merch set that included a very pious looking dildo along with a butt plug. They only released 250 of the Phallus Mortis ritual box sets.
Wow, that's pretty classy.
Yeah.
Would you use that Tobias deal right there? Because it doesn't look, I mean, obviously.
It looks a little funky.
Right. It's like a Pez dispenser.
Yeah.
Would you
like
bang a Pez dispenser? Or a chess piece?
Yeah, it looks like a chess piece.
Does, yeah.
Right. Would you do it?
I think it's a little too scratchy for me.
Yeah.
A little too
it looks
scratchy.
Yeah, all
right. And then this one
but
just
I
made
know
me
what
laugh.
to give Mari for Christmas now.
I love gold.
Yeah. Just I love gold. Well, won't be real gold, but you can sit on it. All right.
All right. Yeah. But the last one, No Effects, on their 1996 album, Heavy Petting Zoo, they had the artwork, which had a colorful illustration of a dude fucking a sheep.
Yes.
So they came out with the inflatable doll. But be advised that there's plastic seams all around the hole. If you stick your dick in there, the frayed plastic can hurt.
Oh, is that what they said?
Pump to the end.
Yeah, man, that is.
So just seeing that, and then I mean, like Dave Navarro, he did like a tasteful little submissive collar, but it's also a guitar strap.
Oh,
so yeah, so he got into like the BDSM game a little bit, but yeah, so seeing all that this morning, I was like, ooh.
I like Power's reaction. He gets quiet, but every now and then, very nice.
That's interesting.
Nice.
Let me write that down.
Yeah. So Fat Mike's always funny. They are on their last tour too, No Effects. Unfortunately, I don't think they play in Tucson, but this is it for them. And that's the one band that says they're doing a farewell tour that you can believe. And all respect and credit goes to Fat Mike for standing by his word always. He's not a hypocrite. And that was the first rock and roll interview that I've ever done was Fat Mike and backstage Edge Fest. Yeah, he happened to be really cool.
He seems so cool.
He was high off his ass, and that's what did it. And again, the story goes like this: I'm backstage. I shouldn't even be there. It's another radio station. We just snuck backstage, and then after No Effects got done with their set, I basically bum rush him backstage. I see him. I go up and I'm like, hey, Fat Mike, can I interview you? I'm with, KWSS. And he goes, "Oh, I don't do radio interviews." And I go, without hesitation, I'm like, "That's okay. We're not real radio." And he goes, "Oh, okay.
All right.
That was enough."
Cool.
God, that's what you say to the punk rock guy. Then I continued to really have the worst interview ever. I mean, I barely even knew. I knew of NoFX, but I wasn't necessarily a fanboy, and whatever the case. And then at one point, I talked about he's talking about North America, and I was like, "Yeah, but that's Canada." Right, where I was like, and he's like, Canada is in North America. Oh my God. Shit. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a fucking moron. That's cool. Nice to meet you, Fat Mike.
Did you ever watch that the F Word? That was about all the punk and rock dads, and how they were balancing. And I love his house is amazing. It's got leopard print all over the place.
Yeah, Fat Mike from NoFX. Yeah, his house is all and super kinked out too. He was really into all the different BDSM and stuff like that before it got popular. That's he's a hipster when it comes to the kinks. So we're back here live on the air, Rock 102.1 KFMA. We'll get into your beef tip here in a little bit. I got TMI top 5, some headlines that you probably haven't heard about yet, but let's get right into that. First, a wide-ranging list of things that can be more dangerous than they seem. What would you put on this list where you think something might be more dangerous than it seems? I'll give you an example. One of those inflatable bouncy houses. And I'll give you a specific reason why. One time I was in high school or, I was probably 18 years old. I got high off my ass. I was way too stoned. And my neighbors were having a little birthday party for the 5-year-olds. And they had a bouncy castle. And they're like, "Hey, come over and jump on the bouncy castle. The kids like you." And I'm like, "Okay." So I'm super stoned and I'm fat. And so I get on this bouncy house and I'm not really jumping around. I'm too stoned. I'm just kind of lazy. So I'm just laying in there, just accepting the wind. It's a nice day out. Everything's fine, but I'm laying on the edge. And then my fat ass accidentally rolls over. When I rolled over, I fell into the net, but I brought the whole thing crumbling down around. And all these kids started screaming because they were trapped inside the house and they couldn't get me out of the net. So I'm stuck and I'm like, I can't get out. And the kids are like, I'm gonna die. And the whole time again. And so finally, after a couple minutes of this terror, they were able to get my fat ass back up again. And then the look of shame that all the parents had looking at me as I slowly walked out of that backyard and back to my house stuck with me for life. So those bouncy houses. On the list here, they said eating grapefruit while on medication, apparently super dangerous. You knew this?
Certain prescription medications you cannot, including heart medication.
Oh.
They were talking about putting me on heart medication one time, and they're like, "You can't have grapefruit." And I'm like, "I don't want it."
Yeah, nobody really wants grapefruit.
Right, not like grapefruit.
They say having a low sodium diet can actually be more dangerous than it seems. So
it affects your blood pressure.
Garage door springs.
Oh, yes. I know somebody who has a scar on their forehead because of it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
They look like Harry Potter?
No, not that cool.
Oh, okay. And then kitten bites.
And scratches. You can get ringworm.
Yes.
Wow. But they're so adorable.
Remember, I know all the weird medical stuff. So I'm like, yes, correct.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, right. Well, good for you. All right. Moving forward, a license plate has sold for $15 million at a charity auction in Dubai, which is another example of Dubai having way too much money. It could be a record, and I'm guessing it's going to be forever. The license plate just says P7 too. So yeah, which I don't know what it means. Yeah. But somebody paid $15 million for that. Didn't you have a customized plate?
Yeah.
How much did that cost you?
They cost you $50.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. With your registration every year, right?
Yeah, even that's a little too much. 15 million's a lot too much.
Yeah.
Speaking of vehicles, automakers like Tesla, BMW, or Ford are opting to cut AM radio from new models, but experts are warning that AM plays a vital role in emergency systems and is the most reliable play to communicate critical information. So they're begging these car companies not to do so right now because have you seen the news? And finally, Gen Z hates phone calls but loves voice memos.
Yes.
You know this? You got any Gen Z people in your family?
Yeah. And then one likes to send a little voice text.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of that lately.
But they won't call.
No.
This is where we're at as
They
a
want-
society. Yeah. So they send an audio clip instead of a text, and it's more popular than ever, especially for young people.
Yeah.
So
Well, I actually kind of like it because the couple people that have started doing it, they're like, honestly, I do it while I'm driving.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that. But
doesn't make it better or safer.
Well, not if you're using your Bluetooth. You just hit the button and then send. So for me, I'm like, you just want to have a monologue and then move on with your day.
I don't know. Have you ever left a voice memo? I'm guessing not.
I'm not a big fan of it.
Right, because I feel like whenever you want to communicate something, it's going to be a lot of words, and I don't know if you're going to be able to get that in this small clip.
Now, just because I'm quite a verbose fella that likes to talk quite
See
a
what I'm
bit from
saying?
time to time about things of this nature, that nature, and other natures, whatever nature's all about. You know, the thing about nature
See,
is...
there we go.
Like,
That's an example.
Like the nature boy.
Woo!
There we go.
There it is.
All right. You know what? There's 2 more things, and we're having fun. I do want to keep things moving on podcast progress for a couple minutes. You guys got a couple more minutes after that? Yeah. So we're gonna do a little overtime, just like Bill Maher in real time. Yeah. And then we'll wrap things up. But that's all the time we have for the FM side. Tomorrow morning, we'll continue to give away wristbands for the Pima County Fair. So make sure you join us then for your opportunity to win around 7 o'clock. Plus, don't forget, 420 is going to be a super show. Tell your friends about Beef Vegan Presents on Rock 102.1 FM.
Yeah.
Kind of rhymes. But that's all the time we have. Thank you so much. Drive safe, ride safe. And as always, rock local. Later. When you... All right, Claire. All right, so that's that. It's so hard to tell with the time on this Zeta thing.
Right.
Because right now, what time do you have in your cell
2 more
phone?
minutes.
I have
We have
9:58.
9:58.
Shit.
I know. I wonder.
Yeah, I noticed that last week. I think we ended at like 9:59.
I got 9:56 on this one, but I don't know. I've been running against the clock, and it's been going right into my outro when I think I have 2 more minutes left.
Mm.
Yeah. But that's okay. We're just driving people here. I want to know if you believe these things are moral or immoral. Okay. And see which line of the fence that you stand on amongst other people. If it's popular to be immoral and do these things, or you are just a terrible person, right? And you do these things alone. So I'll give you an example. Eating meat, is this moral or immoral?
That's I feel like it's neutral.
Right.
Neutral is not necessarily an option here. So, well, I guess sometimes.
I mean, my first thought is to jump to, I guess a lot of people would say immoral, but like, do you know like how awful the like farming industry is and how horribly they treat humans? You know what I mean? Like, so I always hear that argument of like, don't eat meat, it's immoral because you're killing an animal. I'm like, yeah, but you're eating all these vegetables that has been like, I mean, they've been picked by people who are barely making a living wage or killing the animals to keep them off the farms. Like either way, like there's no good answer.
I'll tell you what, John Oliver just did the piece on this last night about farming and immigration and undocumented workers. And there was a lot of interesting statistics and facts that they put in this piece. But the one takeaway that I got from it was that this is protected to pay farm laborers less is protected by law. So as far as when it comes to overtime pay or any of that, they put into a law that, you know, if someone works over 40 hours, then they have to get paid overtime, blah, 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 with the exception of farm laborers.
Yes.
They literally put that in law, and that's obviously caused a lot of issues. And of course, having undocumented part of the big policy. And that's another thing that's so weird too, because a lot of, you know, the farm base and the farmer base is usually right-leaning base. You would kind of see that. Now that's not trying to stereotype, because there's obviously going to be farmers who are going to be left-leaning, but they are definitely leaning onto a side. A lot of these farmers are leaning on the side where they're just like, yeah, build that wall and send them out and send them home and all this shit. But at the same time, they are relying on undocumented workers to be able to pay them less and work harder for longer.
Right. But weirdly, there's a farmers coalition who would be more right-leaning, who are actually kind of coming over to the liberal side because of climate change. They are watching it affect their money. And so now they're starting to add their voices to combating climate change and getting the laws in and everything else. So that's really interesting where those two crossroads have kind of happened.
All right, let's move forward. You turn this conversation to a fucking hippie fest. I'm like, I'm just trying to do a game here. So, okay, 7% said
moral.
Yeah, 7% of people said it's always immoral.
Wait, 70% said immoral?
7%. Yeah. 20% say sometimes, 59% say never, right?
Okay.
So that's how it goes. Okay. All right, speeding. Would you consider speeding moral or immoral? Always immoral or sometimes immoral?
What kind of
or
speed?
Never immoral? Speeding.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I would say sometimes. Sometimes it's too much.
Yeah. If
you don't need to be doing 120.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little 5 miles over moral.
Okay. What do you say, Powers?
I mean, I kind of agree with that. There's a lot of sliding scales.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes is really where it goes. So if you're on the highway, absolutely. If you're late, go ahead. Again, it depends on the situation.
Right.
In a school zone, never.
Never.
And that's it. That's the only exception, right? All right, sharing passwords for a streaming service. All right, now this one, it's going to get a little tricky. Would you consider that moral or immoral? Moral.
My first reaction is to say moral, but then it wants to go to immoral because, like, look at all the employees and everything else. Like, that's what always been the argument for streaming. It's like, well, we gotta pay the producers, but we also gotta pay the people who clean the bathrooms and work those everyday jobs and makeup artists, things like that. All that money goes towards
they
that.
They make good money. What do you say?
So many people that buy those things. It all adds up.
It's immoral. It's stealing.
Oh yeah. So do you pay for all your streaming services?
No.
There you go. Hypocrite. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that it's wrong and do it.
Yes, you can.
You can.
You do it all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what?
All humans do.
No, I don't do it. If I say I don't admit something's wrong and then do it, I say it's right for me and then I do it. Like if I graze at the grocery store, yeah, there's a lot of people who say that's immoral and wrong. Well, I don't believe so, and Jack move. So you know what I mean? I stand by it.
I'm a banana here and there.
I'm a firm believer. If you see somebody stealing groceries or diapers, no, you didn't.
Right. Exactly.
No, you didn't.
I know.
Because I watched that the other day at the grocery store. Dude just ran out with a whole cart of
They need it that bad that they're risking their freedom and everything else to do it, then fine. That is what it is. And we don't want to, obviously just do a free-for-all consistently because that's not going to help out businesses in the long run. But
when's the last time you paid for music? Do you pay for music ever?
Well, yeah. I mean, I pay monthly because I subscribe to Spotify. So even though it doesn't give them the fair amount, but I still pay for it. But that's because I just don't want to hear the commercials and I want everything on demand. So there you go.
Yeah, I pay for music when I'm editing videos.
Really?
Yeah, some of them I do because I want very, very specific songs. It's a $1.40 a piece or whatever. But yeah, I will.
Music is not a great example for me. I'm in the radio game and have been in the radio game for a while. So I've been getting my music for free.
Yeah.
Because I provide a service, a promotion.
Sure.
And that's why. So, but if you gave another example, like movies, I pay to stream movies.
Yeah. I mean, I think streaming is the thing that just kind of negate it. Because like I said, I've had a tough time paying for music for a long time. Like I can't buy it. New Metallica came out and I'm like, am I going to buy this?
No.
Right?
No one is though. They're giving it out, and people are going to stream it. I mean, is it on Spotify or because that's
the
like
whole
Napster?
album? I believe so.
Yeah, 72. Yeah, then the answer is no. They're going to just stream it. Diehards will buy the vinyl, and that's why vinyl made a resurgence.
Right,
and that's the only.
It's a collectible.
Right.
Like they make a neat product.
And the sound, and there's several reasons why somebody would want to buy a vinyl as opposed to just streaming it, but. Most of the time, the option is they're going to listen to it.
I do miss going down to Zia Records, like when there would be like the new music.
They still have it.
Do they? Yeah, I know, but it's so difficult because, like, especially being a minimalist now, like I used to make that excuse to go get the CD and have that whole experience, but now I'm just like, it's all right here on my phone.
I love their listening stations. I thought that was fun.
I do remember that. Remember Bookman's used to have that too.
Borders had it. You guys remember Border?
Borders on Oracle.
That was my go-to.
Yeah.
I got all of my CDs from Borders books because I would sneak it into like, I need this for school supplies. Sneak in some CDs into that shit growing up in college.
Well, I think you do need music for school. I think that goes hand in hand with studying and everything. All right. So 23% of people believe it's always immoral to share passwords. 34 said sometimes, and 25% said it's never. So 2 more percent say it's never, but it's still pretty close. And then there's in between, and obviously a bunch of people didn't answer. So I think that's odd to see that. All right, what about smoking marijuana? As we are growing into a legalized nation, we're a legalized state.
Yeah.
Moral, immoral, and I guess it doesn't break down ages. So with that. I'm sure some old people are
right. There comes
answering.
the scale to a degree, and what you're doing. Don't get high and drive. Obviously, the worst. But I think it is completely not. It's moral now. It's fine.
Right.
You're not breaking a law. Like that was the last law that I broke. Was like I would buy weed from my friend.
Right.
And now I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Because I have a medical everything, and it's been great. So when there's a cop behind me after I bought some weed, I don't feel weird.
Yeah.
Right.
I know it doesn't. It takes away the nerves for sure.
Yeah.
You know, some people still feel it though.
Yeah, but even then, people are still gonna say that it's immoral. It's the devil's lettuce. It's all that other shit. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't be under the influence of anything.
This how equally divided we are on this issue as society. 27% people believe it's always immoral. 29% said sometimes, probably referring to driving, and 28% think it's never immoral. That's how close it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had a friend in high school. I would never get in the car with him unless he was high. He was a terrible driver, but once he was high, he was good to go. Isn't that weird? Now, obviously, we know more and more about like weed and how it can help people and ADHD and all that. So,
yeah. Well, you're still waiting on that. All right. Underage drinking. Now here's an interesting thing. Weirdo and I are both parents of teenagers. And obviously I'm going to have a different attitude when it comes to underage drinking at times. I'm not going to provide alcohol for my daughter. But if she went to a party and got like she did this and it was a pain in the ass. So she went to a kickback, drank too much, got sick, started throwing up. And then I get the call at like 9 o'clock at night. Now at this point, I'm already fucked up. And then like, oh god damn it! Now I gotta ride dirty because A, she's sick, so the Uber's not gonna take her. So I have to drive and go pick her up. So you know, I drove when I technically shouldn't have, but I was okay, right? But I was stoned and had some drinks, and so yeah, I know. I mean, that's the thing. But you have to in this situation. I had to get her out of that scenario, that situation, and there was no other way to get her home, unfortunately. So I rode dirty to go pick her up, and then right when I got her, I open up the door. She gets in the car, immediately throws up inside my car, as opposed to outside. I still had the door open. You remember this story? I was so furious.
My husband did that to his dad. Got super wasted. They pull up into the driveway, and he vomits on the floorboard instead of opening the door.
And I was more.
His dad was so pissed.
I was more upset at that than the other thing. Now, of course, I was upset that she didn't pace herself. I was upset that she could have been taken advantage. There was a lot of different reasons why, but the act of drinking in a social situation, I was not upset about, especially this age, because I seen a lot of people when I was growing up, the ones who did not partake in partying in high school, once they got to college, their entire life went to shit.
Yeah,
right.
That is true.
Yeah. So, and I went in like a goddamn pro. You know, I was like Van Wilder. I was like the king of the scene, showing all these rookies how to party and get it done. And, you know, and I was just pretending to go to college, but still. So it was Van Wilder.
Yeah. And for me, with underage, like alcohol, like with all of that in mind, right? Like I was a teenager myself. I have a system with my kids. If you text me this, no questions asked, in 5 minutes, I'm going to fake an emergency and I'm going to call you and I'm going to come get you. Like, because I want to make sure you're safe. But for me, it's the brains. Like how much they have shown like alcohol consumption under the age of even 25, how much it can affect your brain stuff. So I don't know. For me,
Big Llama Show on YouTube also says I'm in agreement. I won't give my kids drinks, but I'm more concerned that they get home safe and kids are going to experiment. Right. And and in high school, that's kind of when they're still minors and they have less to lose, it's better than imposed. So here's another flip side. My sister grew up a straight A student, super clean, didn't do any drugs or alcohol, right? And then got things established completely, got her degree, got a career. She's going, everything's going great. Then started partying in her late 20s, and she had that addict's gene that passes down, and luckily it skipped over me, but it landed fucking squarely on her, and she completely became a junkie, lost everything, reset. Now she's finally back to where she was before, after a decade-long bender. Decade-long sidetrack.
Okay.
Right? To build it back up. So you kind of want to discover this at a young age. I wanted to see my daughter drinking to see what the look in her eye was, to see if she had my dad's gene or her mom's gene, or she had mine. And I feel like she had mine, so we might be okay. But the difference is if like my dad or her mom has a drink, she got that wild no one's home thing.
I've had that conversation with one of my kids because their biological father's an addict. So yeah, we've had that conversation. And then with my now 19-year-old, literally 2 hours before midnight when they turned 18, I said, listen, you got 2 hours. anything you do now is on you. You are an illegal and adult. Nobody can tell you that you can't. But remember, weed, consuming weed and alcohol is still technically illegal. If you get caught, dude, it's all on you. So yeah, those are always fun conversations I have with kids.
Well, this was my point, some of this, because I remember growing up and I did what I was doing, but it should be experimenting. You can't have your daughter coming home every weekend or every other weekend and it's happening. Yes, that's brutal and terrible. Like, I was always that sort of kid where I was careful about growing up. I didn't even smoke weed till I was 24 because I saw too many people that are like, they're a pothead. Like, and it was like, I want to make sure I don't screw myself up. So that was my thing. And I felt like I did have an addictive personality. So I was cautious.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
you might have been too cautious, though, because you might have missed out on some opportunities in growing up. And that would have been fun and gave you more, experience. You still got it, but maybe just a little bit later than normal. And I will say, with my daughter, if it was an every weekend thing, that'd be a problem.
Right.
Even though I did it. And that's the hypocritical part of it. But moderation is key. Is what I stress always.
Right.
Let's keep it moving though. Downloading pirated stuff on the internet, moral or immoral?
It is immoral.
When was the last time you did it?
All the time.
Yeah.
That's how I brought up music, because I just go to YouTube and
You can't do that though. This is my argument.
I'm allowed to say what it is, but I still do. You're like saying, what's a sin? And then are we not supposed to name it? How dare you sin? Yes.
No, well,
we're naming the thing.
I say in this situation, and this is not like a biblical thing, but I'm saying moral or immoral. If you know it's wrong, then don't do it, kind of thing. You can't say that it's wrong, but you do it anyways and ask for forgiveness. If you're doing it, then you're going to have to think that it's okay to do it in this scenario. So downloading pirated shit, if you do it all the time, be like, yeah, no, it's actually okay because I do it. I don't think it's so immoral, because if you believe that it's immoral, you wouldn't do it.
That's not how things work. You know you're breaking a rule when you break a rule. You choose to do it.
I'm gonna say immoral. I have not pirated anything since Kazaa and all those other ones. Otherwise, I don't do any of that, because again, my argument goes back to the whole you got to pay the people that sweep and mop and do all those other things, and if it's big enough, it disrupts the industry, and then it seems like things get a little more expensive to make up for it. So I'm gonna say immoral.
What do you say, Mari?
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking maybe I have really low morals, because everything's kind of moral, right? There's a reason for everything.
This is why we're friends. Yeah. See, at least she's admitting it. Hey, everything's moral because all bets are off. I'm just doing it.
I'm admitting that it's immoral and I do it. Yeah. It's not like I'm saying, I'm aghast.
I know, but I'm saying that for the sake of this argument, you can't. You have to, if you're admitting to doing it and doing it frequently and willingly, then you're basically admitting it to being moral in your eyes, which is fine.
No,
none of these things are really bad things. That's the part. With the exception of the couple things we want to get to: cheating in a relationship and paying for sex. We're not going to. Oh, okay. Well, Mari's team paying for sex. Yeah.
I don't think that's immoral at all.
Nope. She is. She comes off as the sweetest and most innocent. She's the most gangster out of all of us. Just know that.
Straight gangster.
Not only is paying for sex never immoral, it's preferred. Please pay me. I need to make money. Let's go.
Right? And as Charlie Sheen would say, he doesn't pay for sex, just pays them to leave.
Yes.
All right. Well, on that note, let's wrap it up. I had a great time with you guys. Good seeing you. And we'll get ready for a big 420 show. But if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for subscribing and looking at you, Big Llama. And thank you, Late to the Party, for bringing Big Llama there, and Todd and everyone else. Powers, everyone did a great job. We'll see you guys on the flippity flop. That's tomorrow morning. Till then, try to stay fried.